Maryland is really poised to do some amazing things for the children across the state.
As the Maryland State Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Carrie Wright has big plans. But in her first year, she's starting small.
I think you can identify little ones that are struggling very young.
Early childhood literacy is a main focus of Dr. Wright and the Maryland State Department of Education. And now, a newly drafted literacy policy introduced by MSDE would implement a reading intervention program for some of the state's youngest learners. The policy calls for students in kindergarten through third grade to be screened 3 times a year to monitor their reading skills. That means if your student is falling behind, you would be notified almost immediately, and they would be given help, like tutoring to catch up. The policy would also mandate students in third grade read at a third grade level before moving to fourth grade.
What children don't need is just another year of third grade. They need something very different. They need a different amount of time. They need an individualized plan. They need interventions that meets their needs.
Through the end of this week, July 19th, MSDE is asking for you to weigh in on the drafted policy. If approved, Maryland, according to Education Week, would join at least 25 states and the District of Columbia in either allowing or requiring districts to hold back students who are not reading proficiently by the end of third grade.
And so there's a lot that goes into a retention policy.
Third grade reading policies are familiar to Dr. Wright.
You know, we're living in a new era in public education in Mississippi.
From 2013 to 2022, she served as the state superintendent of education in Mississippi, which has a reading retention policy, and it appears to have worked. According to federal test scores known as NAEP, in 2013, the year its reading retention law was passed, Mississippi students scored on average a 209 in fourth grade reading, far below the national average of 221 and even farther behind Maryland at 232. But look at this. By 2022, the most recent year for results, Mississippi had passed Maryland and the national average. Maryland currently ranks 40th in the country on NAEP, but is aiming to be in the top 10 by 2027.
We want to make sure that we can get as many of our third graders reading by the end of the year as possible.
Emily Mitchell is with Sylvan Learning, based in Baltimore County. Mitchell says the importance of children reading at grade level by third grade has been understood for years because many children, she says, who fall behind by third grade never catch up.
If they're close to third grade level, they'll be okay, but if they're not, it has honestly lifelong effects.
A 2011 report by the Baltimore-based Annie E. Casey Foundation, cited by MSDE, found that students who don't read proficiently by the end of third grade are 4 times more likely to leave school without a high school diploma. Opponents of third grade reading retention policies argue that holding students back introduces new social and emotional challenges, and that these policies can disproportionately affect students of color and students from low-income families. But advocates believe challenging teachers to get students reading proficiently by third grade helps ensure that more kids will be prepared.
We need to make sure that all of those teachers have the skill sets that they need to diagnose those kinds of issues and the skill sets that they need to intervene at a very early age.
I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.